I just think that it's like comparing apples and oranges. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
at least
they don't play the same position.
They like doing the like Magic and the Bird comparison. Well, they played similar positions. Like Bird, he played the guard position. Like they at least kind of match up. This, like, what are we doing? I'm not falling into that. I'm not into the comparison. I think that there are a number of things that Angel can improve on, will improve on in the situation she's in. And I think Caitlin Clark has done that even in her first year in terms of, you know, being able to be that floor general. Her and Aaliyah Boston's connection has really improved. And I think the thing about Caitlin, yes, she can shoot from the logo, but she makes her team better.
Candace Parker just crossed the WNBA's unspoken line, and now the anti-Caitlin mob is out for her. In a league where even praising Caitlin Clark can get you blacklisted, this legend isn't backing down.
When we talk about Caitlin Clark, the first time the NCAA game was on ABC was last year. So in order to give something a chance to succeed, don't bury it in NFL Sundays. Give it a chance.
If you're here for the truth, drop a trophy emoji in the comments right now so Candace gets the flowers she deserves. Because what Candace just said, and what happened next, isn't just about one player. It's about the battle for the WNBA's future and why standing up for Caitlin Clark now means stepping into a firestorm.
This is Candace Parker, and there was a clip that she was on. She was on like a TV show. They're being asked about the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese rivalry, and as expected, Candace Parker, they have all turned on Candace Parker, and by they I mean I don't know if they're Angel fans. I don't know. I don't know if they're Angel fans. I don't know how to describe them, because I'm like, I don't exactly know if they are Angel Reese fans or if they are just like bullies and want to just bully a 23-year-old from Iowa.
The fastest rising star in WNBA history, Caitlin Clark, is packing arenas, breaking records, and delivering TV ratings the league hasn't seen before. Fourth in MVP voting, Rookie Season Assist record holder, Time Magazine Athlete of the Year.
She has surpassed everybody in the amount of time that she has played in the WNBA. She fills up every arena in every town that she goes to. Teams have to go to bigger arenas so they can try to profit off the Caitlin Clark train coming to town. Most 20-point 10-assist games in WNBA history, which I think you could say that's a good game. Like that's how you classify. Vandersloot, obviously, 430 games played, had 10 of them. Diana Taurasi, people talk about it as the GOAT, right?
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
You're damn right.
564. Where'd she go to school?
UConn.
Okay. 565 games played. She has 9 20-point 10-assist games. And then Caitlin Clark, 41 games played. She already has 9 of them. And it's just like, wild. It was very obvious whenever she was in college that she was different, you know, and she seemed to be more exciting than everybody else.
And yet she's still the most targeted player in the game. That's the reality Candace Parker stepped into, because in today's WNBA, there's an unwritten rule. If you praise Caitlin without immediately sprinkling in praise for every other player, you're suddenly part of the problem, and the mob is ready to pounce. Candace has been steady in her praise of Caitlin for months.
Observe your team and see where you can add. Like, Caitlin is one of those people that has a high IQ. So I know she's watching, and I know she's gonna come back and make you all that much better. So it honestly is scary, because not only are you allowing other people to step up, but you're allowing Caitlin to then survey and realize how she can add. I said from the get-go, Indiana Fever, scary.
But this week, she didn't just defend Clark. She went straight at the critics pushing the better without Caitlin narrative. And that was enough to trigger a storm. ESPN themselves set the tone during All-Star coverage, skipping 2024 ratings comparisons entirely to avoid showing that without Caitlin on the floor, ratings dropped 36%. That wasn't an accident. It's part of a pattern. Downplay her impact, shift the focus, pretend she's not the reason fans are showing up.
All-Star game ratings from this past weekend was the second most watched WNBA All-Star game ever, behind 2024. No surprise there. The 2025 WNBA All-Star game was the most watched program of the night across all of TV. The night, not the day. With 2.2 million average viewers, up 158% from the 2023 WNBA All-Star Game. This is very similar to the WNBA Draft, comparing it to 2023. Very similar to how they are presenting this graphic. We all know the most watched ever is because of Caitlin Clark, and we all know that the reason that it's up 158% from 2023 is because of Caitlin Clark.
But here's where things really caught fire. On live TV, Candace rated Caitlin Clark as A tier and Angel Reese as C tier. Her reasoning? To be in the top tier, you have to carry a team as a primary option, something Caitlin has already proven she can do. Angel, while an elite rebounder and strong brand builder, hasn't yet matched that level on the court.
What's up, fam? Candace Parker here. I'm gonna do a tier ranking of WNBA players. I'm gonna try. This is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's gonna raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, you gotta have a couple more years. So I'll put Kelsey Plum at the A level. Two-time champ, now took on the challenge to be #1 option in LA. I would say KP is definitely in that tier. And then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
The reaction was instant and brutal. Angels fans flooded social media accusing Candace of disrespect. Even Cheryl Swoops joined in with thinly veiled shots.
Ironically, Candace Parker is in a little bit of a hot seat right now.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago. You probably shouldn't send her back to Chicago. But go ahead, Jordan.
In this league, if you compliment Caitlin and don't elevate Angel alongside her, you're branded a hater. But Candace wasn't done. She came armed with receipts. The Fever are 8-5 with Caitlin in the lineup and 9-9 without her. Every time the better without Caitlin line comes up, the numbers bury it. She even dismantled ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck's claim that Indiana might be more dangerous without Caitlin by pointing out the obvious.
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind.
Yes, others have stepped up in her absence, but adding Caitlin back only makes them better. That's not hating on anyone. That's common sense. And Candace didn't just hold her ground, she doubled down. When pressed, she asked point blank, "Who are you taking Angel Reese over? Paige Buchers, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, Aja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, Brianna Stewart? Number that doesn't make Angel a bad player. It's just the truth."
The facts that I want to bring to this table, and I challenge anybody to tell me, what player are you taking Angel Reese over of those that I just listed? But what I'm saying is, in what player, and this is no disrespect, these are the greatest players in the game right now. They asked me to rank the tier right now, and just from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player.
But in today's WNBA climate, truth comes at a cost. And Candace knew exactly what would happen next. She then turned the spotlight on the players themselves, torching one of the worst All-Star Game performances in recent memory. After players wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts, the game that followed was flat, slow, and uninspired. Candace called it a missed opportunity, saying the product on the court should have matched the statement on the shirts.
I won't say All-Star games because the game, I'm going to be honest with you, Leah, it was awful. But
What do you mean?
the actual game, are you kidding me? What you mean? What do I mean?
The vibes were high.
Leah, y'all, and hey, listen, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to say anything. So I'm going to preface, I'm going to be your vet. Don't say anything. But y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of "Pay us what you owe us." Pay us what you owe us. And then do that in the All-Star game. It wasn't the fact that you're doing something to prove why you
have to be paid. I think it was just an opportunity to me on one of the biggest stages with those shirts being worn along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on like more momentum.
It was blunt, it was honest, and it was everything the mob didn't want to hear. Candace Parker isn't defending Caitlin Clark for clout. She's doing it because she understands the WNBA's growth depends on stars like Caitlin and on leaders willing to tell the truth even when it's unpopular. While others protect egos or avoid controversy, Candace is playing the long game. She knows that when Caitlin returns healthy, Indiana will be a legitimate contender. And when they're winning exciting games, the fans will show up by the millions. We've already seen it. When Caitlin came back against the Liberty, she delivered one of the most electric performances of the year, and millions tuned in to watch.
Bridge Fieldhouse logo. Caitlin shakes up Rebecca Gardner, driving right lane. Baker, good, plus a foul. Rebound, Fever. Cunningham got knocked to the floor. Caitlin pulls left wing, buries it. She is back. 24-18, Fever down. Caitlin down from the right wing, 30 plus feet. Good again. But Caitlin Clark. Sedatis handoff. Caitlin from the logo, crosses over, launches. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
The most dynamic player in the game. 9 points in 38 seconds for Caitlin. She hit all 3 threes.
This is what leadership looks like. Checking your ego at the door. Standing up for what's right, even if it puts a target on your back. And refusing to bend to a mob more interested in short-term point scoring than the league's long-term success. Candace Parker is that leader, and the WNBA would be smart to listen. If you're still watching, drop a trophy emoji in the comments so Candace Parker gets the flowers she's earned. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next, because this fight isn't over.
We're back home, baby. Let's go. Back in the W column. That's a big job, baby. Point guard.
Lexi Hull didn't just have a good game, she went nuclear.
Lexi, that final three-pointer kind of felt like the perfect end of that night. Just, if you could just talk to me about the celebration, how much of a relief that was for you, just kind of to punctuate it like that.
Oh, one more three.
We believe that every time she shoots it, it's going to go in. But for her to finally feel that and see that and play with so much confidence, it's big for us. When she knocks down shots, we're a different team.
Lexi pull, though, the bucket and the foul.
The player who couldn't buy a bucket for weeks suddenly erupted, leading the Indiana Fever to humiliate Angel Reese's Chicago Sky. And here's the twist. They did it without Caitlin Clark and with no point guards available.
Like the Indiana Fever has defeated the Chicago Sky with only 9 damn players on the team. Game we seen tonight, Lexi Hall, MVP, bruh. I mean, she was hitting threes like it was no tomorrow. Now, she did have a scary incident in this game where she rolled her ankle and she had a little collision. I'm hoping everything is all right with her, but overall, Lexi Hall looked sensational.
So how did this shorthanded team pull off one of the most dominant wins of the season? The Fever's worst nightmare had already begun. Caitlin Clark was sidelined with quad and groin injuries since mid-July, with no return date in sight. Then, in the same game against Phoenix, disaster doubled down. Sydney Colson tore her ACL in the first quarter.
And here's the hustle right there. And as she comes down. Obviously, a really awkward when plant. She lands on that left.
Ari McDonald broke her foot in the fourth. 2 point guards. One night, both out for the season. The trade deadline had passed. No replacements could be signed. The Fever had 0 healthy point guards.
All right, who has the Fever's voodoo doll? Because this is getting out of control. It was just announced that Sid Colson and Ari McDonald are out for the season. Sid tore her ACL and Ari McDonald broke a bone in her right foot. The Fever cannot catch a break this season, and this is so heartbreaking for these two, especially Ari joining the team midway through the season, not even knowing if she was going to be playing in the W this season at all, being such a strong contributor to the team, and then Sid having that veteran leadership role, keeping the locker room fun and exciting. I mean, everyone loves Sid. And with these two out, the Indiana Fever officially do not have a point guard. We still have no timetable for Caitlin Clark's return, and at this point she has missed more games than she's even played. Sophie Cunningham can run the one, but she has been absolutely killing it from the wing, so I would hate to see them try to shuffle her around. And because of league rules, the Indiana Fever can't even sign a hardship player before tomorrow's game. So they currently have 9 players available with no point guard.
The Chicago Sky saw their chance. Winless against the Fever all season, this was their revenge game. Indiana came in wounded, undermanned, and vulnerable. Everything pointed to a Sky victory. But that's not what happened. Lexi Hull had been in a nightmare of her own. Her last 2 weeks? A brutal 2 for 25 from 3. Hesitating on open looks, confidence slipping away with every miss. Her mother hadn't seen her hit a 3 since the start of August. After the Phoenix loss, arguably her worst game of the season, Kelsey Mitchell pulled her aside. She told her, "We're counting on you every night." Fast forward to the Chicago game. Early in the first quarter, Hull stepped into her first three-pointer. The ball arced through the air and swished. Caitlin Clark, watching from the bench, jumped up in pure joy.
Hull open 3. Oh, what a sight for Alexi Hull. She has needed that one to drop.
Alexi Hull catching fire.
Celebrating like she had made the shot herself. That single make changed everything. Hull started hunting for shots, moving without the ball, making reads, playing free.
Colson out for the year with the ACL tear. Lexi Hull, though, the bucket and the foul. He's dealt with so much scoring adversity lately.
Yeah, terrific baseline execution. She comes off the curl.
She finished 4 for 6 from deep, with a season-high 17 points and a plus 22 plus-minus.
You know, her just adjusting to not starting games, coming off the bench.
Cunningham draws the defense. Hull rolls in the corner 3.
Tell you what, this Fever team is going to be very dangerous no matter the roster.
Oh, Lexi Hull, heat checking her napalm era right now.
Every make was celebrated like a championship moment. Aaliyah Boston flashed the three-point sign. Sophie Cunningham wrapped Hull in a hug. Chicago had no idea they were witnessing a complete role reversal. With no point guards, Coach Stephanie White turned to Kelsey Mitchell. It was the first time since college she'd had to run an offense full-time. Mitchell's instincts have always been scorer first, but this time she sacrificed her own shots to set up teammates.
What a matchup between her and Boston, something I'm keeping my eye on.
Mitchell trying to go one-on-one after getting the handoff. Back to Boston, sets her feet, nails the jumper. Kelsey Mitchell will stay true to her natural position. She's been playing so well from there, but she will get some opportunities as she jets by the defender, jumps it off to Howard, and Howard for 2.
The result? A season-high 8 assists to go with her scoring. The adjustment wasn't instant. Early on, you could see her fighting the urge to take over offensively. But then it clicked. She started seeing passing lanes that weren't there before, threading the ball through traffic, setting up easy baskets.
She'll be tasked with defending Mitchell. Mitchell coming off the screen, trying to create some separation. 2 come, dumps it up to Boston, it trickles in.
When Chicago played her for the pass, she scored. When they guarded her shot, she found the open teammate. By the end of the game, Mitchell had proven something big. She could run an offense and still be lethal as a scorer.
Mitchell 2-on-1, it's a foot race. Mitchell to Cunningham, Cunningham right there for 2 more. Pointed out the fact that Indiana just 5 turnovers with no true point guard. Mitchell pipes in another triple.
Coach White has talked all season about bringing in quality human beings, players willing to sacrifice for the team. This game was proof. Lexi Hull broke her shooting slump. Kelsey Mitchell reinvented her role. Boston anchored the defense. Sophie Cunningham filled gaps everywhere. For the first time, the Fever didn't look like a team relying on one superstar. They looked like a playoff threat with multiple weapons, a group that could win ugly, win shorthanded, and win convincingly. Chicago thought they were catching Indiana at their weakest. Instead, they got run off the floor. Final score, 92-70, a 22-point blowout. Fourth straight win over the Sky this season. For Lexi Hull, it was the redemption she desperately needed. For Mitchell, it was a career night as a facilitator. For the Fever, it was a statement. We are more than Caitlin Clark. This win was more than just a number in the standings. It was proof that the Fever have built something real, a culture where everyone knows their role and is willing to step up when it matters most. With Clark's return on the horizon, the Fever will have not just their superstar, but a supporting cast battle-tested through adversity. The WNBA just got its warning. This team is dangerous. If you're still watching, drop Team Fever in the comments to show your support for Lexi Hull's epic comeback. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more, and check out our next breakdown on the screen now.
Just what's the reaction been from you guys, the players, the coaches, to losing Sid and Ari?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just brokenhearted for them. They're two really good people that you hate to see this happen to. They've been an integral part of what we've been doing, and so hate it for them. Unfortunately, it's part of the deal.
Breaking news. The Indiana Fever just fired a star player. And yes, it's all connected to Caitlin Clark. 2 major roster cuts, a playoff race on the line, and a decision that's left fans stunned.
So yeah, a disaster. An absolute disaster for the Indiana Fever. She can make her money in the offseason, but Sid Colson's probably not going to play ball again till 2027, and she might be done.
Was this about performance, locker room tension, or protecting their franchise star? We're diving into the shocking truth behind this move and what it means for the rest of the season.
Oh, folks, this Indiana Fever season, it just went from bad to worse. Let's call a spade here. It just went from bad to worse. Caitlin Clark, she's been in the lineup, she's been out of the lineup, she's been hurt, she's been healthy, she's been hurt, she's been healthy. Now she's out for an extended period of time. The WNBA website has her listed return date as August 12th. Yesterday, we see Sydney Colson go down. Hope for the best. We get the worst. Ari McDonald sitting the entire fourth quarter. Kelsey Mitchell's on the floor. I'm asking myself, why is Kelsey Mitchell playing this whole entire fourth? Oh, that's because Ari McDonald is...
This wasn't supposed to happen. The Indiana Fever were finally building momentum after a brutal start to the season. Then, disaster struck. In one single night, the Fever lost 2 key point guards, Sydney Coulson with a torn ACL and Ari McDonald with a broken bone in her foot. Both were declared out for the rest of the season.
Wow. Horrible news. Sydney Colson, left ACL tear. Wow. At her age, there's a chance this was it. And Ari McDonald, broken bone in right foot, will both miss the remainder of the season after suffering injuries during our game in Phoenix on Thursday. Brutal. I mean, that game last night, that exposed the coach further, more than she already has been. And we lost 2 very, very competent players, including the starting point guard that was filling in for the other starting point guard. This is a disaster.
These weren't just bench fillers. Coulson was a veteran leader, the calming voice in huddles, the one younger players leaned on. McDonald was a spark plug, giving the team speed and defensive energy they desperately needed. The injuries left the Fever without a single true point guard while Caitlin Clark recovered. It also left the front office with an impossible choice.
And then there's the Indiana Fever side of things. Look, they needed Ari McDonald. Beyond just needing her in a hardship situation, they didn't have a backup point guard or ball handler who could put pressure on the rim, who could set other people up and could score beyond Caitlin Clark. Ari McDonald fit like a glove in that respect. She also hustled her tail off on defense, provided a different look there, a certain level of tenacity. And then Sydney Colson could be called in and again, as a defensive player, a steady presence. I don't think, if I'm being honest, I don't think the loss of Colson as a player on the floor is tremendous, but as a presence in the locker room, she can still be there, but she helps out while on the floor and while on the bench and all those things. Not to mention, when you lose the rest of your players, you're just out of options and you have to go to the next player. So somebody with that kind of experience is a real benefit.
How do you replace 2 starting caliber guards when the trade deadline has already passed, the salary cap is locked, and every roster spot is already taken? That's where Caitlin Clark's name comes into the equation. Clark's absence had already forced Indiana into awkward solutions. Coach Stephanie White had shifted Kelsey Mitchell into the lead guard role, even though she's naturally a scorer, and had Sophie Cunningham initiating the offense despite not being a true ball handler. White has also been reluctant to use certain bench players like KK, Chloe Beebe, and Bree Turner.
Man, I don't know what their next move is going to be. Hopefully it's a good one. But we see what's going on with this with this team and this front office, man. We see what's going on, right? Coach don't want to play Bibby. Coach don't want to play Timpson. I don't know, man. The rotation is all over the place. We see what's going on.
In several games, she's played as few as 7 players, even when more were available. So with the team down to the thinnest rotation in the WNBA, the Fever made their move, waiving a player to create room for a hardship signing. The most controversial target, Chloe Beebe, who had only just signed for the rest of the season.
This is a disaster. And what this does for a potential playoff push, I don't know. Because, you know, I've seen people say, well, sign a guard or whatever. Well, there's salary cap implications out there too right now. I even saw somebody say we might have to waive Chloe Beebe to sign a point guard. So a lot of reaction. My heart breaks for Sydney and Ari McDonald. Do not rush Caitlin Clark back, though. She's going to have to play. I mean, I don't know what else they do.
To some fans, this decision looked ruthless. Beebe wasn't injured, but she wasn't in White's rotation, and every spot on the roster is now critical. Others suggested a more brutal alternative. Waive Sydney Coulson outright to free up a permanent slot, even though she's now sidelined and may be headed toward retirement. Online theories exploded. Was this really about opening space for a player who could complement Caitlin Clark upon her return? Or was it about clearing out anyone the coaching staff didn't trust in high-pressure games? Names immediately started flying around. Kennedy Carter, an explosive scorer with the ability to run an offense, became the fan favorite, though her history of locker room issues made her a risk.
Nobody better say Kennedy Carter. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Kennedy Carter, yes, a phenomenal player, but I really don't feel like she like Indiana. And I don't feel like she like many people in the WNBA. The way she keep going from team to team to team, all right? It's not going to work. So just throw that out the window. Anybody ready to say Kennedy Carter? I know we're desperate at this point. We are completely desperate. But fam, Kennedy Carter is not going to work, all right? Let's just keep it a grand. Yes, you can have the talent, but you gotta have the character to stay around with these other players as well and make these other players want to ball out with you, right? It's all in the motion, man. It's all in the motion. It all coexists, right? You can't forget about somebody's character and just think about their skills. All of it coexists, right? So, yeah, I can't vouch for Kennedy Carter, but everybody else who I named.
Others wished for Grace Berger, a smart playmaker now in Dallas, but her contract made that almost impossible. The hardship slot means the Fever can temporarily sign an extra player while injuries pile up, but the WNBA's talent pool is thin this late in the season. Finding a game-ready point guard who can step in and mesh with Clark is like finding water in a desert. And here's the real issue. Without Caitlin Clark, the Fever risks sliding right out of the playoff picture. With her, and the right player by her side, they could make a serious run. This firing isn't just about one player, it's about reshaping the entire team's identity to match the way Clark plays. The fan base is split. Some say this was a calculated move to give Clark the best possible shot at leading the team into the playoffs. Others say it's unfair to a player who never got a real chance to prove herself. Social media has been a war zone. Accusations of favoritism, debates over the WNBA's tight roster rules, and endless speculation about Clark's influence on front office decisions. Here's my take. This is a high-risk, high-reward gamble by the Fever. They've chosen to sacrifice depth now in hopes of finding a guard who can slot next to Clark and immediately elevate the team. If it works, and the Fever go on a deep playoff run, this move will be remembered as the front office's boldest and smartest decision of the year. If it fails, it will be remembered as the moment Indiana threw away its season. Because here's the reality. The Fever's offense without a true point guard is broken. Every possession is harder, every mistake is magnified, and opponents can dictate the pace with ease. Clark changes that instantly. Her court vision forces defenses to stretch. Her deep shooting opens space for players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, and her leadership turns chaos into structure. The question is whether she can get back in time, and whether the new roster move gives her the support she needs to thrive. So what do you think? Was this firing about protecting Caitlin Clark's playoff hopes, or was it an unfair move that could backfire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're still watching, type Clark will lead, so I know my real ones are here.